Hey there. Just came here to hang out today. I think I figured out why most people have problems. And I think it's because it makes life interesting. Like anybody knows. Notice what people watch, the movies, the books they read. The stuff that has the most plot twists or the most things going wrong, usually people watch that stuff the most. Humans just eat that shit right up. We're trying to figure out the pattern, and when we don't know what's gonna happen next, we're like almost desperate to know what's gonna happen next. And the reason you notice people, as soon as they fix their problems, they do one of two things. They create new problems. They basically go out looking for new problems to solve. And we will create problems because we cannot like be bored. Or we'll try to fix other people's problems. And there's something profoundly fun about solving problems. It's like very fun. Like something that's been bugging me recently is like, how do I improve the lights on the video because it's like super dark? And I have this setting which basically controls how much light enters the camera. So it's like opens up the lens and lets more light in. But this is the max out, and I'm like, how can I improve this? And I'm like, oh, there's this other setting, ISO, and I could also increase this part. And just makes it like slightly better, right? So there's something very fun about solving problems. So fun that even if we don't have problems, we try to solve other people's problems, or like we try to make up problems. If you go on the internet, it's just everybody complaining about stuff. Even though we're living better than any other generation. So this is something very interesting about humans. Like there's something attractive about problems. It's like why people are attracted to toxic people sometimes. Like there's something about problems that gives purpose. Like people are amazing at this. Like they'll see a leaf fall down from a tree and they'll be like, oh my God, this leaf represents human life. It's like, no, brother, it's a leaf. Like, relax, please. Like, people just, we can make shit up from anything, and it's amazing. But it also gives, it just gives roots to so much more problems that it solves, I think, which is kind of cool because we solve the actual problems, but then we make more new problems. We think that thinking is what solves problems. But most of the time, when you talk yourself out of doing something that is good for you, there's thinking involved. You talk yourself out of going to the gym, applying for a job, talking to a girl. The cure for all of that is optimism. It's like if you're holding back from doing or saying what you want, it's because you're not optimistic about the outcome. We know what we want to say to people. We know how we want to act. When we're not honest, when we hold back, is because we think the outcome is going to be negative, which is a lack of optimism. If you think this person is going to react well, nobody thinks like that. Everybody's like, my God, they're gonna get mad. We just lost our optimism as a generation. Something that really confuses me and that I haven't been able to find logic in, even the logical reasons don't make sense, is that why people shame you when you're trying to improve yourself. I've never understood that. If you're trying to improve yourself, you have my highest regards. I respect you. I know you're probably awesome. We would probably click really well. If we meet up, we would talk and we would probably understand each other. If you told me I wake up and I think about this one thing, and all I want to do is that, I know exactly what you mean. But then you go and say this to normal people, they go, what's wrong with you? I don't think there's anything wrong with you. I think there's something wrong with your environment. I think there's something wrong with the way we try to fit in. I don't think we're meant to fit in. Not everybody's meant for everybody. You're not meant to be... Not everybody should get along with everybody. It's fine if we don't. What matters is you find some Fruit Loop like you who's just like running around chopping stuff. You find one person like you, suddenly life gets a whole lot easier. Because when you're all alone is when things are at your hardest. I gave up on trying to optimize things all the time. I was obsessed. I spent in the entire last year, 2023, all I did was optimize stuff. I just cut out things, optimize things, move things around my day. And it's like now I'm filming this at 3 a.m. and I don't care. Like, I'm not worried about going to sleep on time, because I try not to worry about these things. And in over 20 years of life, I figured out that worrying about something has 0 to negligible effects on the outcome. It doesn't help really. It doesn't really make a dent. So all that does is lead to more stress and more thinking. And it is extremely expensive on your mental health, but it doesn't really help anything. So it's like opening a loot box that costs $1 million, and you can either get nothing or 5 cents. Like, that sounds like a bad deal to me, man. Don't do that stuff. And some of us are opening the loot box every day for years. It's like, no shit, you fucking, it's a scam, dude. No shit, you're like fucking unhappy. We burn more energy thinking about stuff and planning than actually doing. We do. We know this. And the emotional tax on thinking, oh my God, what do I do first? Did I make the right choice by starting my day doing this? It's like, the way we attempt to solve problems is usually by thinking and by knowledge, by science. And it's so hard to do because we're trained to think our entire life. We think like, oh my God. Everybody, school, parents, everybody tells you, you should consider things, take time to make decisions, which is true. But I also want to offer like an opposing view, or not really an opposing view. I want to offer the DLC to making decisions, like an expansion, which is the instincts. I really can't speak today. I'm sorry. It's like sometimes you feel what is right for you to do, and you feel it somehow, it's like unexplainable, but you know that this is the right thing to do in this moment, and nobody else can understand, but you can. And so instinct is different than impulse. So let me explain the difference. It's like, people think when I say follow your instinct doesn't mean like go hook up with people and go get drunk, and like that is an impulse. And an impulse is the urge to do something, to engage in a behavior like right now, like right this second. There's like an urgency to the impulse. Instinct is completely different. Instinct is what you feel is right to do. It's like what you know is the next right step. And instinct could be the same today, could be the same in 2 months. Like, if you know you need to lose weight or gain muscle or just get your sleep in order, in 2 months, you're going to feel the same way probably. But the impulse is very like transitory. If you feel like drinking and you don't drink, or you feel like jacking off, you don't jack off, in two hours, you don't really feel it that much. So impulse isn't like, it's something that passes by. Instinct is a lot more valuable because it's more deep. It like comes from some kind of understanding that we're not sure. We process information way too quickly, and we're not sure where the information came from. But we just came to the conclusion, this is it. And it's baffling to me because we're trained out of following our instincts, because we even believe it's something bad to do for some reason. It's like, well, that's so animalistic. No, the impulse is the animalistic part. And usually when we think, it's because we don't trust our instincts. And I figured out, if you just believe that you're going to want to do the right things, you don't need to like guard yourself with thinking so much. Like, thinking is basically an attempt to like steer the wheel of your life and of your actions. But we know that your instinct is, you wake up and you usually know what to do, or you know what you should be doing, at least. Studying, going to the gym, like working out. You know what's the right thing to do to move your life forward. There's usually one big domino that you push that just like everything else falls into place. If we don't do that, it's because of thinking. Like, I get up and I think, my goodness, I have like 100 pages to read. I don't feel like doing that, so let me play video games for 4 hours. That comes from thinking. My instinct is that I need to get these pages. I need to absolutely destroy these 100 pages because they're stopping me from achieving my goal in life. So I need to get this done. So my instinct is to go in there, crush the 100 pages. But then that thinking starts to kick in, and I think it's going to suck. It doesn't matter what you think. What matters is that you're here, here's your goal, and there's something in the middle. This thing needs to get crushed. It needs to be obliterated. That's the only thing that matters. Think of the thing you're gonna do. Think of the thing you want to do. You got it? So the only thinking you need is, have I done this thing? Yes? No? If no, then that's all the thinking that you need. It's like sometimes you don't feel like going to the gym, but that's because you're thinking too much. You're thinking, I didn't sleep, I didn't eat. I'm gonna be so tired. I don't have the time to do my full workout, so I'm probably gonna have to rush through that. And you end up not going. But if you just ask, did I do it? Have I done it yet? No? That's your answer. That's all the thinking that you need, really. And so most of the time, thinking is a cop-out. It is a cop-out for thinking we don't really want the right thing. It's self-doubt. Thinking is like a self-doubt. We're trying to figure out, are we doing the right thing? Are we? And most of the time, thinking doesn't help. Let's be honest with us. That's fine. I'm not telling you not think. Actually, you know what? I'm telling you don't think as much. That's exactly what I'm telling you. Sometimes you just have to do something. And thinking just doesn't help. Sometimes thinking just doesn't work. Sometimes you just have to get up, take a cold shower, and hit the weights. There's just no way around it. And if thinking stops you from doing that, then just stop thinking. That's the only way sometimes. You know, it feels good to sometimes do something without thinking. Just so refreshing. Just such a nice change.